Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Tudor Fastrider Black Shield. That's reference 42000CR, 42 millimeters in black ceramic. This is a motorsports watch par excellence, but with a twist. Now, I got to admit, when I first saw this reference, I got the sporty element. I got the contrasting stitch, the black and the red, the tachometer scale, the chronograph complication, but I didn't know quite what Tudor was going for with this watch until I realized it's not just motorsport, it's two-wheeled motorsport. This is a Ducati-inspired Moto Grand Prix style sportsman's watch. So who is Tudor and why are they going for this more aggressive sporting angle? Well, the bottom line is Tudor is Rolex's cousin, so to speak. From 1945 to the present, Tudor has been a parallel independent watch company within the Rolex empire, and their focus has been on a more youthful angle, more experimental design, more elaborate complications. They are more adventurous and they are more value-oriented, often sharing technology, sometimes even cases and bracelets with Rolex. They benefit from the parent company's investment in materials, in R&D, in quality control, and product and process improvement. So let's put this Tudor Fastrider Black Shield on the wrist and get an impression of it. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is it is a little bit bigger than your standard Rolex, and that's no coincidence. Tudor has also been a little bit more progressive in its adoption of modern design forms, and the 42 is larger than your standard Rolex sports watch. The watch plays larger, but it fits well. The combination of the calfskin contrasting stitch strap on my wrist and a nice uniform broad-shouldered case means it fits relatively flush. It sits light. Ceramic, and this is ceramic, being roughly between steel and aluminum in mass means this really feels more like, I would say, almost a titanium watch in the weight of it, but it feels sturdy and it looks beautifully built. Now on my wrist, which is 6 1/3 centimeters, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, let's be proper there, the watch fits fine. I think you could easily go down to a 6-inch wrist, maybe even 5 3/4, without any trouble accommodating the look or the feel of this watch. It has no inclination to overlap my wrist. The strap is very supple, and despite the conforming end links designed to reduce the gap between the edge of the strap and the case, the strap will pull down straight. So if you want a tight fit on a smaller wrist, you can easily obtain it from Tudor's setup here. Now, the Fastrider Black Shield, as I discussed earlier, is inspired by Ducati, specifically the Tudor Ducati Diavel Carbon. Now, this watch, the Diavel Carbon, I should say, is a power cruiser. The power cruiser concept is something that's emerged in the last couple of years, sort of a go-between, halfway between a sport bike and a traditional American-style Harley cruiser. The power cruiser is all about style, but with that latent sport bike power lying just beneath, and that's sort of the vibe I'm getting from this Tudor Fastrider Black Shield. There is a sort of latent energy to it, and it jumps out from the dial, first with the red luminova on the hands, which are skeletonized, and a sort of black chrome finish, as well as the dial, which features broad and bright lume. There's really a two-tone look going on here, but a great deal of contrast, far more than two different finishes. Each of the sub-registers is itself raised with guilloche concentric patterns at their centers, red sub-register hands, the beautiful half-red seconds hand with black skeletonized counterweight is just emblematic of the amount of attention to detail that goes into this watch. Just like the custom bike that inspired it, this watch has a lot going on. It rewards repeat viewing, and it's quite subtle. You might not notice at first glance, but it has a beautiful dished rehaut between the edge of the crystal, itself, I should mention, red tinted, and the tachometer scale, but that rehaut swoops down from the edge of the crystal down to the dial to aid in the transition, the visual transition from the upsweeping tachometer to the crystal and downward to the dial itself. Again, this is sort of mirrored in the pattern of each of the textured and contoured subdials. The bottom line is it absolutely works. Highly legible in spite of the blacked out aesthetic. This watch is a functional success, it's an aesthetic triumph, and it makes you really grateful that Rolex has a division that's dedicated to pushing the limits and trying something different. As much as we revere the Submariners, the Sea Dwellers, the GMTs, and the Daytonas of the world, there's definitely space for this kind of audacity in the Rolex catalog, without marring their traditional elements. And Tudor fits that mold perfectly. Now, they give you durability and they give you value. Based on a Valjoux 7750, Tudor makes no bones about the fact that it uses ETA movements, at least until its recently debuted in-house movements at Basel World 2015. But this traditional ETA movement Tudor case dial quality combination allows the watches to reach a price point and present a value proposition that Rolex's mainstream line cannot touch. And with the 7753 version of the 7750 movement in here, you get that traditional symmetrical tri-compax dial layout. There is a pusher corrector in the case flank that you can see right here just below the tack at 9 o'clock, and that allows you to adjust the date at 4:30. You can also see the stylized chronograph pushers on the flanks. Now, Tudor notes that those are in fact styled after pistons, so the motorsports, specifically the big Ducati twin themes going on here, are pervasive, and it is a thoroughly realized concept. Just like the bike on which it's based, every element is a stylist's dream come true, essentially a concept watch or a concept bike delivered for the consumer market. Now, this is a 100% complete set featuring the more desirable leather strap. This is contrasting stitched black calf leather. There is a rubber strap available for this watch, but believe me, for look and feel, you want to go with the calf leather. It's a rugged watch with a nearly indelible ceramic case. Ceramic, which I mentioned earlier, is not only light, it's incredibly scratch resistant. So this watch is going to resist the kind of marring, the kind of disfiguring slings and arrows that you encounter during daily life on the wrist. It will not age prematurely like the beat-up sports watches of yore, including, as you've undoubtedly noted, many vintage Rolexes. This thing is going to preserve its good looks, and I'm willing to bet that if you're the type who doesn't lay down a bike on the road, you could keep this Tudor Fastrider Black Shield looking virtually new for the life of the timepiece. Check out this Tudor Fastrider Black Shield reference 42000CR with 100% original Tudor factory accessories, boxes, and documents of provenance on our website Watch You Want. If you're a fan of the Ducati Diavel, if you've seen the Diavel Carbon prototype, if you like sports watches but you want something a little bit more audacious than a traditional Daytona, this Tudor Fastrider Black Shield just may be the watch you want.